we're leaving the Cecilia Creek trailhead on the north end, just outside San Pedro Parks Wilderness. It's Memorial Day weekend 2021, and we just left the car, our 4Runner, and we're on our way on a probably 15-16 mile backpacking trip across the San Pedro Parks Wilderness. We are starting on the north end and we'll be traveling south into the San Pedro Parks Wilderness and traversing it, going south all the way to the San Gregorio Lake trailhead where we have our other car parked. It's about 10:35, 10:40 in the morning. Took a while to get here, and now we're excited to start hiking towards the wilderness boundary. And so spirits are high, stoke is high, and hopefully we'll make short work of this. Got the whole family in tow on this trip, and so there may be some complaining. So it took a little bit for us to get our bearings on this trailhead because we've never really hiked here before. So there's our car, like right there. But this is the Continental Divide Trail. So we're trying to make sure we were going the right way on the Continental Divide Trail because we're trying to go south on it. And when we got to the junction, it was like we could go south on the Continental Divide Trail, we could go north on the Continental Divide Trail, and then there was another spur trail thing. And so we were trying to just make sure that we're going the right way, double checking our position on the map.
The problem is if you took the south trail of the CDT when we were right there, it actually loops around and goes north, and what appears to be the north trail loops around to go south. And so that's why it took us a little bit to figure that out. Thank goodness for digital GPSs.
Yeah, definitely nice. Otherwise we might have been going the wrong way for a bit, but I think we're on track. We're at about, this trailhead starts at about 8,200 feet, just below 8,200 feet. And we'll be going up to something like 10,300 feet. So this first day is gonna be pretty steadily uphill. But then the rest of the trip should be gradual downhill, which will be nice. So today is probably gonna be the hardest day, but I think it's probably gonna be the best weather. So there's that. So it's just a matter of trying to keep kids motivated. This is probably one of our biggest family backpacking trips we've done. Mileage-wise. So it'll be interesting to see how this goes.
Well, I have these to keep the kids motivated. Whistler bikes.
Yeah, we may need to be using that a lot to keep them going. And the game plan is today to do about 5 to 7 miles, depending on water availability, campsite availability, things like that. Also, whether the kids bonk.
What is that?
I don't know what that is.
Seems like it's coming for you, Dad.
It's coming to get me. What?
I like those little cute cicadas.
Yeah.
I'm really sweet things. Imagine I was him and then one of you guys just caught me, and then I was like, I tried to try it. They got me. They got me.
And off in the distance is the elusive cow. Going poop.
Going poop.
Right as I said that, it started going poop.
Oh, it's because it goes that way.
Yeah, we're taking the hard way.
The easy way's like
There's the easy way.
That's what happens when you follow Justin.
This is the Sawyer way.
Guess what? I don't even have to go through a fence thing. I go over it. Not step on my mark that I made. Mom, guess what comes from?
So this is the beginning of the San Pedro Parks Wilderness. So this is the official beginning of our traverse. This is the beginning of our trip.
Just?
Yeah, just now. I know we've been hiking for a while. What do we got there, Atlas?
That guy not
Bear.
coming for
Bear
us.
scratches, huh?
Mommy says it's fresh, not today fresh, but season fresh.
Yeah.
You can tell someone. If you're scared. We found a little baby deer. Go take care. So cool.
Poor thing, man.
Oh, it's hurt.
I think so.
Yeah,
I think it's sick.
it's
It looks
sick.
very weak.
Yeah. No one's cleared this trail yet, so it's going to be a little interesting getting through here with little kiddos.
It was cool how they just like.
So we dropped our packs. We're not sure if we're going to camp where we're at, but there are some nice little clearing areas that I think are fine. Gade's a little more picky, but so we may keep going down the trail about half a mile to where there's a spring on the map. But since we're resting, ooh, there's a little bit of snow there. First patch of snow I've seen. Anywho, I'm bushwhacking. It's not too bad of bushwhacking. Probably the best bushwhacking I've ever done. To the headwaters of the Rio Capulan on the map to see if there's actually water. Because the first day, first 7 or plus miles of this hike that we're doing is pretty dry. We saw one little stagnant pool of water, but other than that, nothing. So while they're taking a break, I'm running through the forest to try and find a place to fill up some water, and that way at least we know we have enough water to get us, you know, probably 24 hours worth of hiking. I hope this is not the Rio Capulan right here. It's a little marshy. So I'm gonna shut up now, take a look at the map, make sure I don't get myself lost, and see what happens. The headwaters of the mighty Rio Capulan. It's barely a trickle right here, but it's enough to get a little bit of water. So I was able to get, I think, enough to where I think we'll be able to survive for at least the night until we can find some other water sources. So we found camp.
What's the problem with having snow as a water source? You have to have liquid water to get it to melt.
For anyone who thinks that we're torturing our kids because they can't hike this much, this guy's running around this meadow like he's gone crazy.
I found this little water stream, so you don't have to go in the marsh.
So we set up camp, and so this is day one of our little trip traversing the San Pedro Parks wilderness. Just set up camp for evening one. It's I don't know, maybe about almost 7 p.m. I ran the statistics. It looks like we did about 5.7 miles today, and if my math is correct, about 2,200 feet of elevation gain. Pretty nice little old growth forest that we hiked through mostly. There wasn't a lot of water, but it was beautiful. A lot of fir trees and a lot of quaking aspen. So the San Pedro Parks wilderness is in northern New Mexico, you know, maybe 10, 15 miles east of Cuba, New Mexico. It's in the Santa Fe National Forest. It's a part of the Santa Fe National Forest, and it's comprised of a lot of fir forest, aspens. The average elevation is above 10,000 feet. It's called San Pedro Parks because it's comprised of a bunch of meadows that they call parks. And it's not terribly mountainous. Once you get up to the wilderness itself, it's pretty rolling and undulating, but not terribly steep like other areas of northern New Mexico. But it's you know, got a decent elevation, so there's a fair bit of snow here. It's the end of May, and as you can see, there's a fair bit of snow even right next to our campsite. So for those that might not be familiar with wilderness areas, our U.S. government's passed an act designates certain areas as wilderness areas, and what that means is that it's supposed to keep the land as it was, you know, as natural as possible. And there's a few regulations that they require to keep and preserve the land in that way. For example, there's no mechanized transportation that's allowed in the wilderness area. So a wilderness area does not have roads. You can't drive in the wilderness. You can't even mountain bike in the wilderness. So there's no mountain biking. There's no driving motorcycles, no ATVing or anything. It's all about foot traffic, basically. You can have pack animals as well. So some wilderness areas will have, you know, horses or llamas, things like that. But as far as mechanized transportation, it's prohibited in the wilderness area. The idea is to try and keep and preserve the area for future generations. And I certainly have benefited from our wilderness areas. I grew up backpacking in the wilderness, and I think it's a pretty awesome thing that our government has actually done to preserve these areas.
Dinner tonight, family, is Mexican style veggie bowl with rice and beans and a sweet potato chicken and rice.
Ooh.
I hope you're hungry.
I'm starving.
I'm not too hungry.
You're not hungry? So Denali, what was your favorite part of the day?
Right now?
Right now, dinner time?
I guess right now because we are camping.
All right, all right, fair enough. Mommy, what's your favorite?
We get to have it.
Getting to spend time with every single one of my family members.
Oh, and Atlas, what was your
Not
favorite
every
part of
single.
the day?
Not every single.
The day.
The whole day?
Except for when my legs got tired.
Okay.
Same with me.
All right.
Again, the poor
And
farm.
Justin, what's your favorite part of the day?
My favorite part of the day was stumbling upon this meadow and seeing an elk or a deer at the end of it. I don't know what it was. It's probably a deer.
It is a fantastic meadow.
Yeah, that was probably my favorite part. All right, it's day 2, and we're cooking breakfast, and then we'll probably pack up and start hiking in a little bit.
It doesn't like.
So we're about ready to leave our camp now, all packed up and ready to get on the trail. I think we might check out a couple things that I didn't get to see last night when the family was exploring, and then we'll head on out. So looks like a beautiful day. There's birds flying around. May have seen a vulture or a hawk or eagle or something. Couldn't really tell, but it's a pretty great day. Looking forward to hiking more. Oh my gosh, Denali, you fell. So we've decided to try and find a spring that's on Yade's map and not on mine, just to try and mark some water sources and just know more about the area. So we're checking it out.
Too bad we couldn't find a spring. Because it is extremely wet over there.
What are you?
An ant right now?
An ant? I thought you were a squirrel.
No, this is a squirrel.
All right, show me your squirrel.
this is.
That's your squirrel?
This is my aunt.
Oh, cool. So while the kids are resting, I was looking at the map, and on my USGS map, it looked like there's another trail over here that we're gonna kind of end up meeting up with. But if we could just navigate to it directly, I think we could cut out probably like a half a mile of a dog leg from what I was initially intending to do. This is like where the trail's supposed to be, right behind me. I don't see it. Part of me just wants to go off trail. The other part of me thinks that's probably a bad idea, because you don't know what you don't know. But we'll probably save like half a mile. We could also get our feet really wet like I am right now. So I'm gonna see how adventurous the family is feeling right about now, and we'll make a decision. But first, I gotta get out of this marsh. I talked to the wife and we talked to the kiddos and have a consensus on making a little bit more adventure-y. So we decided to go ahead and try the bushwhack out and see what happens. It looks like we'll cut off about a quarter of a mile, which ain't a lot, but it ain't nothing. It'd be nice to cut it off and be a nice little adventure. So that's what we're gonna do.
I love bushwhacking.
You love bushwhacking? Why do you like bushwhacking?
I don't know, it's fun.
I don't want to jinx us, but this is the most luxurious bushwhacking I've ever done.
I know, right?
What's that mean? Easy?
Easy
Super easy.
and nice and fancy.
I hope you jinxed us.
You hope? Why?
I want to bushwhack. I want to whack bushes, not logs.
You want to whack bushes?
Not logs, Steph.
Well, maybe I will have jinxed us. Who knows? Time will tell. Turns out I did jinx us, I think. There's a lot of down trees here. This is what our path now looks like. Not terrible, but not particularly fun.
Yeah, but it's fun because I like to step over logs.
All right, go do it, man.
Can I watch that whole part?
I don't remember, Denali. After we read it.
Whoa, buddy.
Same thing with you. You can see it. Come on, you okay? Come on.
Looks like we got some light at the end of the tunnel here. There we go. Right into some marshes. Great.
Well, yeah, I think that might be a trail, Dad, considering all of the high ground is marsh and none of the low ground.
Oh, there's our trail right here. Or a trail. Probably our trail.
Yeah, maybe.
All right, we're back on trail. Wow, good job, guys. Look at that little swimming hole.
It actually is a swimming hole.
How deep is it? Oh, it is deep.
That's deep.
At least like 3 feet.
That must be big.
Yeah. Look how the trail, there's snow blocking it, and the trail's now a river. You don't have any way through. Well,
It's not that deep. You could just walk in there.
I don't want to get my shoes wet.
We're just gonna tsunami.
Yeah.
It's a stream.
Stream, but then the trail dries out again.
Hey, good. I hope there's not another stream. Cold, but it's just like. The trail turned into a marsh again.
It did.
And just for a lot longer now. And then the side is also a marsh. Which means that we just need to step on the bundles of grass, and Mom's having to carry my brother.
Back on the trail.
Wood, but it's cold.
It's a lot of water for this creek.
Wait, underneath which one? That bump or that bump? The one right. I'm going to take mine instead. I was doing a hard area. Oh man!
So we are going right to Gregorio Lake.
Although I was thinking of doing that. I want to see.
Gosh, Denali. Atlas.
Oh man!
Doesn't mean you do that too.
No, a rock. There's a rock. I like a rock. Like the way the marks.
It's like a cement log. It's real.
It's real, but it looks as if it wasn't just falling.
The balancing.
Someone did it. Stuck. I'm stuck.
You guys are stuck?
I'm stuck.
Well, you know what?
Can't get out.
Mom's got the idea. You got to go around.
No. I'll go.
So me and Denali are hanging back a little bit while Atlas and Yade go a little further up. And the weather's starting to turn a little bit. It's getting a little more cloudy, isn't it, Denali?
Cold.
And it's colder, yeah. But we're almost to camp, I think. We're within a half a mile, I think.
This is going to be our last day.
This is our last day. Well, we're gonna camp tonight, and then it's supposed to be stormy tomorrow, so we might have a rainy hike out tomorrow. But we're pretty close to the car.
It started to sprinkle a little when we were hiking. There were 3 possible camps. This was the first one because it started to sprinkle. So then we came here, got the tent ready because we didn't know if it was just going to get worse. So then it stopped like it just did now. And then after a little while, it started to rain again. And
now it's hailing.
yeah, now it's hailing. After a long day to my brother.
So we woke up and it was overcast, but it doesn't look like it's thunderstorming quite yet. So we decided to pack up. We're all packed up and at our camp and ready to go, but we're looking at the sky and it looks like the sun might burn off the clouds. So we're gonna kind of see what happens here. But we're all ready to go and start heading out. It's about 9:30 and we're all packed up and we're heading out now. So gonna head down to Damien Meadows, maybe check things out, and then we'll maybe go to San Gregorio Lake, check that out, and head out, depending on how much the weather holds up. All right, just got to Damien Meadows. It's definitely beautiful. Got some nice dandelions.
1,000 down trees.
And no one camped here.
No more.
Probably a deer or an elk.
Or cow.
Doesn't look like it. No, it looks too
The ribs
small
aren't
to be a
wide
cow.
enough. It could have been a cow before I saw it, but
Us together.
Look at me, Denali. So we had been hiking down Clear Creek, and we got to Damien Meadows, and the weather was pretty nice, so we decided to stop and make some tea and coffee and just hang out in the meadow for a bit. So now we're approaching San Gregorio Lake. So this is the last little bit of our journey across the San Pedro Parks wilderness.
this is insane.
San Gregorio Lake. All right, we're officially out of the San Pedro Parks wilderness right here. So Denali and Yade are back a little bit. So I'll take a video of them coming out, and we are done with our wilderness traverse, and the cars should be right down there. Good job, guys. This is the end of the wilderness. All right, we're at the San Gregorio Lake trailhead, just having a celebratory beverage, and hanging out next to the creek before we head back and pick up the other car. It was a pretty short day, and we went down Clear Creek to Damien Meadows, had a nice little coffee and tea, and hung out there for a bit since the weather didn't seem like it was about to downpour. So we just hung out there for a bit, then continued to San Gregorio Lake, checked that out. Actually only saw two fishing folks in the background. They left by the time we got to the lake itself, and just hung out there for a second and then came out and finished it up. So this is the first traverse that we did, and first traverse as a family. Turned out to probably be about 16 miles, 2,500-ish feet of elevation gain, and largely a nice experience. It was pretty good weather, except for a little bit of a hail and rain last night, but nothing to really complain about. So here's to a successful mission.
And there's this secret area behind a giant boulder, or should I say boulders, and it has the river.
And now it's not secret. All right, cheers, guys. Good job.